Hello, this is Chris Walker with Big Angie Fan Channel, here with another channel spotlight. Today's spotlight is on Alan Papier. That's the name of the guy who does this, and it's also the name of his channel. Now this one, of course, is pretty well known for Angelina fans. I'm directing this video more to people who are just maybe starting on Angelina Jordan journey, because Alan really goes in depth. That's one thing I really like about his channel. Well, he's one of three channels. There's mine, and there's Pontus Osterlin, and there's this one. These are the three channels that are pretty much exclusively Angelina Jordan in terms of, reactions. But they're definitely not your typical reactions. He really goes into depth. He goes into the history of a song. He'll often have many versions of the same song before he gets to Angelina Jordan. And he also goes into a lot of depth about, just what it is that makes Angelina Jordan great. Not just, not talking so much about technique, but mainly how she can make you feel. I have sorted his videos here in order of popularity, which is often a useful way of finding more obscure things. Now, like his least viewed video here is actually, I think, a wonderful video, and it's I want to start out with this because it's a good illustration of the kind of things he does. So he starts out, comparing her with a famous painter. So let's listen to that.
Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. Before we talk about Angelina Jordan today, we need to talk about another artist, a 20th century artist, a great 20th century artist by the name of Pablo Picasso. He actually redefined many different styles of art. He had a blue period, he had his cubist period, and of course he had his masterpieces. And every style of art he really excelled at. He almost redefined it. And to an extent, this is what Angelina Jordan does. She touches different styles of music, and she excels in every different style.
Now, then he starts showing some different styles of Angelina Jordan songs, like jazz and country, different styles that she does, and relates that to a great artist like Pablo Picasso. And it's true that that's one of the things that's great about Angelina Jordan, is she really can masterfully do quite different genres and pull it off. And not just pull it off, but do it, extremely well. Like Crazy is an extremely well done country song. I have a colleague who was talking about how, he didn't like country music at all. He loves Angelina Jordan, but he didn't like country music at all. And I said to him, well, Crazy is a classic country song that Angelina Jordan does. And he said, oh, wow, I really like Crazy. So, he does, if Angelina Jordan does it, he likes it.
But Picasso did more things than just paint. He also was a master in sculpture. He was a master in ceramics. And he also was very famous with his drawings. And in each of these, you can see his quality, his world-class level of artistry. And in a way, this is a similar parallel to what's happening with Angelina Jordan. She does most of her music on YouTube, but she also does her music on TikTok and on Instagram. Now, some people are not keen on her Instagram or her TikTok, but what I would say is that if you compare Picasso, his line drawings, to his actual paintings, his line drawings are basic and they don't have the color and they're not so elaborate. And they are the basic foundation for what his paintings are. And in a way, that's what Angelina's TikToks and her Instagrams are in relation to her finished products.
So I think that's a really apt analogy. And we have seen with her TikToks how they're getting longer, but they're still more raw and basic than her, complete songs on YouTube. But that doesn't stop them from being, very artistic, just like Picasso's drawings are very artistic. And so he goes on to talk about her Instagram song Yebba by Drake. Again, I'm still in if you guys didn't know, I have a 2 copyright strike situation going here, so I can't really show any excerpts of Angelina Jordan, but he illustrates everything that he's saying, with these clips of Angelina Jordan. So that's one great one. And another thing I wanted to show how he's so philosophical is if you search within his channel, using the magnifying glass here, I'm going to use the word like art, for example. And, well, of course, how great thou art. But then this next one, second one down, Angelina Jordan redefining the nature of art. Now that is a very interesting philosophical discussion of some of the very unique qualities of Angelina Jordan that make her an artist that stands above other singers today. So of course I will have links to these videos of his in addition to a link to his channel. So, and then one further thing that he has started doing is he does interviews, and he's really scored some great interviews. 2 that I really like are with the 2 guitarists that Angelina Jordan has worked with the most, Egil Clausen and Ivan Mendes. And so, there's lots of wonderful nuggets in these interviews. And again, they're quite long and they go into depth. Here is Ivan Mendes talking about a million years ago.
Fun facts that I just realized as I was watching, but one of them is the reason I'm wearing that shirt is because I had just gotten out from work. So normally I would be working in LA. Although I've always been living in Orange County, I would drive up to LA for work, and then after work we would get together and then hang out for some time, and then actually start working on some music. But a lot of the times it was just me showing up with whatever work, an outfit I had on, and then it was the video. And that one was the one that I ended up having the most views with Angelina, I believe. A million years ago. And another one is I had just put on new strings and I hadn't even cut the ends of it on the guitar, and I just realized they're still like coiled up. So that just tells you how just impromptu a lot of these performances are. It's just kind of like, I show up, we talk about a few songs, and then start playing.
So later on in the video, they talk about the song Stay, and there's some really interesting nuggets there.
I don't know if many people know that not only I'm very new to a lot of the songs, I learned them on the spot, but she also does, she's a lot of her videos, she's reading off of a screen for the words, lyrics. And that's another, to be reading and to be able to concentrate on the song. Because when you know the lyrics, when it's your song, you can really interpret and just focus on the interpretation of it. But the fact that she's also reading it, staying on track, and it's like her mind's working on so many different things, and just makes it seem so flawless. And that's we were able to do things so quickly. We actually recorded probably twice as many songs, if not 3 times as many songs as they were put out, because we would just do 3 a day. We would just get together, do 3 or 4. She would put up the lyrics. I listen to the song, and then we start recording it.
You hear that? That was one of the most fascinating parts of the interview for me, both because of the process that he's talking about. I mean, most of us Angelina fans have noticed that she's often just learning the song, looking at the lyrics. But this thing about that there are, many songs that they recorded that have not been released. I really, my ears pricked up when I heard that, and so that was a great revelation of this interview.
And so there are a lot of songs which were recorded which were not released?
Yeah, there's probably about 10 of those.
Wow.
10, so 10 songs that maybe we can look forward to seeing, at least some of them. Okay, one more little excerpt from this.
That second to the last note, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen, I've ever heard. Hold it to like a very soft, very low point, and then brings it back out, still before she ends the phrase. Amazing.
Well, this interview, Elon, makes it really, really clear that you actually happen to be an Angelina Jordan superfan, because even though you've heard these songs 10 times or 100 times before, you are moved every time, just like everyone else.
So what the phrase he was talking about was the word stay, her second to the last singing of the word stay. And yeah, that is really amazing. But here's an example of Angelina Jordan's amazingness, is you could argue that that's not even her best singing of that word, because in My Funny Valentine, she sings the word stay very, very beautifully also. So, of course, I will have links to Million Years Ago and Stay here. So, a wonderful site to really get some deep historical information about songs that she sings, with many different versions portrayed. And he really delves into the specialness of Angelina in a way that others don't. And so one final thing is he is also involved with the podcast Wrapped in a Warm Blanket. He and Pontus Osterlund, and that also delves deep into what makes Angelina Jordan unique. That one talks mostly about how people feel when they hear her sing, and how that is so unique in the way that she makes people feel. But that podcast is audio only, and it doesn't feature any clips from her songs. So I'm happy to say that the new season of Wrapped in a Warm Blanket is going to have a YouTube version where you see them talking and they illustrate what they're saying with clips from her singing. So that's going to be wonderful, and it's going to be on a separate channel, but he will have at least the first episode on his channel. I think it's February 10th, he said. And here I have a world premiere for you of a couple of clips from this video version. Of course, I can't show the actual clips they have of Angelina Jordan, but here they're talking about the song At Last.
And at last, I have a special edition not many people have looked at, because there's one that sort of millions of people have looked at. But then I find another one that maybe only 10,000 people have looked at, which is a concert that she did in open air. And I think this is such a good performance. Very, very intense and very going deep into the tunes, let's say, and the off tunes of the song. It's really beautiful, let's say. But I discovered it only by listening to it while walking, because then you don't have the video. And the video, because it's not so well taken, it's not always in focus, and the camera moves a lot, let's say. So it's kind of distracting. When I walk and I listen to it, I kind of discovered it. This is excellent, but you don't actually notice it when you look at the YouTube video.
So, if you want to know what version he's talking about, I guess you gotta watch the show, February 10th. So I think I'll just have one other excerpt here. I don't want to reveal too much.
And there's a very good example of that in All I Ask. In that song, there is a part where her breathing is part of the singing, because she takes breath at a moment where she doesn't need it, because just before she had taken breath too. But she's doing it because she's profiting from the sound it makes, and that was needed in that part of the song. It's very interesting. Actually, someone pointed it out to me, because I didn't notice it myself, but I sort of paid attention more to that moment and thought, yes, indeed, she's using her breathing to sing.
So, again, you will get to see exactly what he's talking about. They play the clip and they show where it's happening. So I'm very excited about this video version of the podcast. I think it could really bring in a lot of new Angelina Jordan fans. This in-depth discussion of really unique aspects of her. All right, so that was a spotlight on Alan Papier's channel, and this has been Chris Walker with Big Angie Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii. Remember to like and subscribe, and especially remember to subscribe and like for Angelina's official channels. Aloha from Hawaii.